Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this part we're going to implement our backend server and we will also connect MongoDB. Then we'll keep our data on database. From there we will fetch data and shows it on our website. And most importantly, we will design our cart page and do a very interesting thing. So that's why hope you will enjoy. But let me show you what we're going to do. Firstly, if you go to your all menu sections, and then you can see we have products here. That means menu items here. If you hit add to cart, then here you will see an alert, and the cart items here you can see the count is 1. If you want to choose another items, for example, let me choose these. Okay, hit here, then here a alert is there, and now the items are 2 here. If you hit here, then you can see we have 2 items added, and this is the item name image, then here is the price, and this is the quantity. You can increase the quantity, so you can hit the plus to increase the quantity, and you can just hit minus to decrease the quantity, and when it's 1 you cannot hit the minus. You can see it's visible, but you can increase it. So click here, and interestingly, the look at this price. When you just add a quantity, then here the price is increasing. And the important thing is here we have total prices. When you increase, then the price will be also increased. When you decrease, the price will be calculated properly. So based on this calculation, so we're going to implement these sections, and this is very important to understand, hope. And on the left side here we have customer details. If you have your profile setup, then you can see your name here. If you have email setup, then you can see your email. This is your user ID, you can see, and after then you can proceed checkout. So here our main part is we will just connect our server to our front end actually. So that's why let's get started. So what we will do actually, if you haven't set up your projects, you can clone this repository. So how to clone this repository? You will hit this code icon here. The option is you can use this link, or you can just download this git repository by download zip. So let me clone this. I'm arranging this project, so that's why I am open a drive. From here we'll go to the project sections, and we want to clone this. So actually from here, so that's why we'll open the terminal. So the terminal is open here. So to clone this git repository, you will type git clone, then you have to paste the URL. If you press enter, then you can see the cloning is start. Okay, fine. It takes a few seconds to clone. Okay, the cloning is done. Then what we have to do, we have to type cd and then this name. Actually you can just copy this name and then paste it here, then press enter. Now the project directory is changed. So cd means project directory, and from here you can open this project on VS Code. So that's why we will type code dot to open this project on VS Code. You can see the project is open, and here we have the folders that we have created on the part 3. So for the next, we have to run this project. So this is the client part. So foodie client means client part. We'll go to the folder inside. So that's why we'll type cd then f, and you can use tab to get suggestions. So this is foodie client, press enter. Now we can run this project. So npm run dev, but before that we have to install npm packages. So that's why when you're cloning a git repository, you must have to command this npm install. So after completing these npm packages installations, what you will do, we can able to run our projects. Okay, let me wait a few seconds. Okay, then we can just clear it. Then to run this project, we'll type npm run dev. Okay, so if you just click here, then your projects will be there, but you will see nothing. Why it's nothing? Actually, if you just check your console, you will get this error, uncaught Firebase error, and this is the error, invalid API key. Actually, why this error? If you check your Foodie client here inside this src, you can see here is the Firebase authentications. So that's why Firebase config.js. Here we have used some .env key. Actually, we are using void environment variable to hide our API keys. So that's why the API key is not getting there. So we have to replace this code from our code. So that's why we'll go to firebase.google.com, and from here you can just hit this get started. So if you have your project created, then you can just go to the project sections and just get your API key, or if you haven't, then you can just create a new projects. I have shown it on the previous video, the third video. You can check the video descriptions and you can watch this, how to create a new projects and integrate it to your uh, website. So I don't want to show it. I will show you how you can just fix that error. So why it's not showing, so that's why I will fix that. So if you have project created, you will go to your project sections. So that was the demo, and from here what you will click, so you have to check these setting icons, click here and then project settings. If you move scroll a little bit, then you can see SDK setup and configure. We have already this command done. Then we will just copy these code sections and then we'll just press Ctrl A to select all and delete, and then we'll paste our code. Actually, then we'll type export default app. So if you do this and back to your projects, then refresh this, then you can see the project is done, it's working actually. So let's start with this. So now we will just implement like this. Here we have two cards, but here we have actually 8 is showing. We want to show everything, but before that we'll create our database. So let me close this. So to create our database, how we can do it, we can actually create here, we can create a folder for the database. Maybe we can define it foodie, we can just define it foodie client, sorry, foodie backend or something, backend. Okay, or you can just define it foodie server. Okay, let me define this. So inside this, you have to go to the specific folder. Okay, let me open a git bash. This is the git bash, or you can open any terminal, but I like git bash, so that's why I'm opening this terminal. Then we will go to a specific folder directory, that's why we will type cd, then we will type foodie server. So foodie server, then we will go inside here, and here in this folder we will actually set up our uh, server section. So that's why we're using Express.js. So type Express.js. From here you will just hit these websites, express.js.com. So we're using Express.js Node.js to make our server. So get started. Here it says you have to create a folder first. We have already done, and we'll go to inside this folder. We have created a folder named foodie server, then we have on this specific path. So that's why our next target is we have to initialize npm init. So we'll copy it and then we'll paste this command. Make sure you are on this foodie server. So you are on this server, so make sure you are here. So then we will initialize npm init dash y. That means we're initializing npm packages. So that's why press enter. So after pressing enter, you can see inside this foodie server we have a package.js JSON. Here we have project name, then we have descriptions. You can change the author name if you want. Maybe let me name it, maybe this is Mamun, or you can just do it. Okay, fine. After doing this, what you will do, we have to define an entry point, that is our index.js. Will create a file that will be index.js. So inside this foodie server, so we'll just create a file that is index.js. Then the next part is we have to install Express and other dependencies. So that's why we'll just copy this, and from here actually we'll paste. Let me just move it up. We'll install npm express, then we need course, so that's why we're installing course. We need dot env packages, then we also need mongodb and other dependencies. Let me just go with it right now, so press enter. Oh, that's fine. So if everything done, you can see your package.json. You can see we have install course, we have .env, we have express.js and MongoDB. And then what you can do, you can go to index.js, and from here click this next. Then it is the initial setup. You can just copy this code. So this is the initial setup. You will copy this code and replace it or paste it on index.js. So you can see I have just initialized this. Then what to do, actually here we will just define a optional port. So process dot env dot port, then we will define an initialized port that is maybe 6000, or you can just define any number here. Okay, fine. So to run these projects, you can run these projects, but before that, here let me edit this package script. So here you can see script sections, and here we'll add a new script. You can just define start script, then we'll have a clone, then we have something here. We'll type nodemon index.js. So to run this server, now we will use this script, start script. So that's why we'll type, select where we'll type npm then start. That will be this command, nodemon index.js, this command. So when you run this command, it will actually run nodemon index.js. Okay, press enter. So you can see our server is running successfully. So if you visit your browsers and go to the localhost, maybe it is 6000, then press enter, or maybe it's 6000 or something. Yeah, 6000. So why not it's showing localhost? Let me divide 6000. Maybe we're not getting to freeze there. So what you can do, you can just define 6001 for now. Let me check. Okay, now we're getting this port actually on 6001. You can just uh, define any number here. Actually it's depend on you. We're getting this port actually. It's because we have already running a server here on 5000, so that's why I'm defining 6001. So here you can getting hello world from this line, actually you can change it. You can define your name here, or you can just define hello developers. Then if you just refresh, then you can see hello developers. So our server setup is done. Then what you will do, we'll need to define some middleware as we're using, so that's why let me import course. So const course equal require, let me close this right now, require, and here we'll just use course. Then let's define some middleware. The middleware is very important to connect to your front-end side, so that's why we'll define middleware. It's very important. If you didn't define this middleware, your projects will cannot be added to your client side, so that's why it's very important. So we'll use app.use, then we'll just call this course, so that's why we'll type course and call it. After then we have to use app.use, then we'll just call this express, so we'll call express, then we'll convert this JSON format, so that's why JSON objects. Okay, fine. And now after initializing this middleware, what we will do, we will want to integrate our MongoDB, so that's why let's go to MongoDB. So we'll type MongoDB, and then actually we were going to connect MongoDB. So if you haven't an account, you can just click this start free, or you can just try it free, or if you have accounts then you can just sign in. Let me go to sign in. Here you can use your Google accounts to sign in or sign up. I'm using my Google accounts. Okay, okay, fine. So to create a new project, you can just click these drop downs here. So you can just click these new projects, or you can just hit this as Atlas logo. So when you hit this Atlas logo, you can see if you have other projects done, you can see it, the project is running. We have 3 projects actually. So to create a new projects, what you will do, you will just hit this new projects, make sure. So if you can't find this, you can just click this Atlas logo actually, then you will get this page. Okay, so let's create a new projects. From here we have to define a name. It's for food actually, so that's why I'm defining its demo foodie. You can just use any name, clients database foodie client, or you can demo foodie db. You can use any name. So demo food db, that means database, and then click this next. Then you have to define your project owner. Already your email will be catch up here, and then you will hit this create projects. Okay, close this. Now we have to create a deployments, so click this create, then you will choose a plan. So we're going with the shared and free version, so that's why we will choose the third number. Here we're getting 512 MB storage, and it's the RAM is shared and CPU is shared. From here we will choose provider. We'll choose AWS, and then you can choose your region. So you can choose any of these regions, you can choose any available regions. So for me, maybe we can choose not this one, or you can choose any regions, it's not important. You can choose Mumbai if you want, so nothing must worry about it. So you can choose your locations, then you can name it a cluster. You can name cluster, for example. For this it's optional, you don't need to name it, or if you want, then let me define it. Okay, I'm just naming the cluster name demo foodie cluster. You can just ignore this or just write any name here. Okay, then create. You have to just caps it by cycle. motorcycle. Okay, done. The capture is done. Now it's very important. Here you can just create a new user. So you can just uh, type a username. Let me add the username here. I'm just copying and pasting it here. For now we'll just hide it a little bit later, but for now it's very important. Otherwise, if you haven't username and password, you cannot access this database. So that's why we have to copy this password and username. After then you can just create a users. Then it will says how you would like to connect. We are going to connect is using cloud version. So that's why if you want to use MongoDB on your local machines, you can just choose your local environment, but we are using internet, so that's why we'll choose cloud environment. Then here by default your ID will be taken. After then if you scroll bit, you can just hit this finish and close. Then we don't need suggestions, so that's why we will check mark uncheck this and go to overview. Okay, fine. Then you will get something like this. What you have to do, you have to hit this add data. Okay, or maybe this project, so we have to connect this project, so that's why let me go a little bit back. From here we'll just uh hit this edit configurations. Oh, sorry, it's not there. Okay, back here. From here, oh, I forgot that we have to hit this connect. Then we have to install a driver. So the driver is, firstly you have to command this on, you have to choose a driver. If you want to use it Node.js, then we will choose Node driver, and you can choose your versions. Then you have to command this. We have already done this, but if you haven't, then you can also install MongoDB. We have already done it. Then we will just want to get the full code, so that's why we'll toggle this. Then you will get this full code. Copy this code, and then here after this, or here we will just define MongoDB config. Then we'll paste the code here. So here we are requiring Mongo clients and server API versions from MongoDB. That means we are importing this. You can move it to the top, it's not something important. But then here we have an URI. Using this URI we are going to connect our server, so that's why this URI is important. Then we are defining a client, and then here is the main functions. Here you can see this is async functions, and here we are using try block and finally block, and here we are running our database. So what we'll actually do, firstly we have to replace this password, and here we will replace these passwords. Let me just, this is the password, let me copy it and replace these passwords. So if you replace this password, and then what you will do, you will just close this. So that's why we'll just comment this one. You can remove these comments, so no major. If you just go back, then you can see, let me scroll a little bit here after this purge, and then you can see picked your deployment and you successfully connected to MongoDB. After connecting this, actually after replacing this password, this project is connected to our MongoDB. And make sure you are just close, yeah, with those client dots, it's commented. Otherwise after running this server, the database will be stopped, so that's why we will comment it. Okay, fine, our database is connected, but we have to make sure our username and password is secure, so no one can get access this. So that's why we will use .env. .env, it's a npm packages. You will search it .env npm packages, and from here we have already installed this. If you not, you can just copy this and then open your terminal, make sure you are on this server side. So you can just stop your server using Control C. Then you can just install these packages. Let me install it again. .env. Okay, press enter. After this you can run your server again. So that's why npm start, press enter. Now still you can see our server is running here and database is also running. So what we will do, actually you can see if you scroll a little bit, you have to install these packages. Then to use it you will just create a folder on this root projects using .env. So here actually this is the server and this is the root directory. Here we will actually create a file that would be .env. So that's why .env. Inside this file we will just define our username password this way. Okay, so actually this way you can just copy it, and now to check it you have to configure this way. You can just copy this two line and then you can just use it inside your index.js. Let me close the on. Here if you want to use it after this port you can just define it. So actually if you now check, then you can see there are some stuffs are showing. So inside this we have this. So if you just copy this and then if you define npm dot this text, then you can see we have this bucket from this text is here actually. So this way we can do it. So let's replace it. We don't need this. We will define db underscore user. Then we will define our username. So this is our username. We'll paste the username here and then we will have db underscore password, and then we will have this value. So that's why we'll copy this and paste it here. So to get the db users we will copy this, and to check this it we'll just simply define process.env.db users. Now if you check your terminal, then you can see here the username is this one. So this way you can just get this value from the .env. So that's why we will use this value. We'll copy this and instead of my username we'll just paste it here. So but before that let me convert it with a template string. We'll use cat sign and also cat sign here. So we'll replace the username, delete it, and we will use a dollar sign then curly braces, paste it, process.env.db users, and we will also replace this password. So that's why remove it, then dollar sign, then curly braces, and here we'll also define env process.env, and here it will be this value db passwords. That's why here we'll actually define db passwords. So this way you can secure your username and passwords using .env. So now if you check your console you can obviously see that your project is still running. Let me show it again. We can just close these projects again, Control C for closing it. Let me clear it. Okay, now if you type npm start, then you can see this is port is running and ping is successfully still working. You can remove this console log, we don't need that. Okay, fine. So after it, what you will actually do, so if you do this, then the next task is what you can do. We need to define a ignore file. So that would be like similar this one. We can define a git ignore. We'll just copy this name and let me open it here. And on the server actually we'll create a git ignore file, and inside this ignore file we'll paste this text from the clients. So close it and paste it. That's why when you are commenting, we don't pass our password, our .env, our extensions on other stuff, dist and other thing node modules. We don't pass it to git repository. So that's why we're using git ignore file on our server. So this is frontend and this is server. So I think now our project is running, our database is also working. So what next? We have to create a route for getting data. So that's why here, let me just comment out this, let me remove it, and then this is client, this is URI, and this is our main functions. So this is this main functions. Inside this try block, let me comment out here, lots of comments, we are just removing these comments. So after this, actually this line, yeah, wait, client connect. So this command is connecting our MongoDB. So that's why after this, here we'll just define database and collections, database and collections. So firstly, we have to create a database. So the database will be const. So to create a database, firstly we have to define a database name that would be maybe menu collections or something. Then we will define client as we're going to define database. So that's why we will type db, and then we'll have a curly braces. So inside this, we'll have to name our database, that would be demo 2D client. This is our database name. After then, we will just define our collections name. So that's why we'll type collection, and inside this collections, the first one will be menus. So that's why menus collections, this is menus, or you can define it items, it's not matter what you are defining. So from this line, while creating a database, the database name is this one, and then the collection name is this one. So after then, actually we will create some multiple collections. So this will be for menu collections, and then we can just create another one that would be for cart collections. So that's why we'll just define cart collections, COLLEC collections, and here the process is same. We'll define client, then we will have db, then we will have the database name. Here the database name is this one, or we will have to use double quotations or single quotations, and then we'll define collection. The collection name is cart items. Okay, so we will have two things. We actually define our database and collections using this line. So for using menu items, so let me add comments. Wall menu items operations. Here we will type all code related to our menu items. So that's why operations. Firstly, we'll define a get route. So that's why app.get. Here we'll have a path that will be menu path, and then we'll define a async, then we'll have required and response. So define arrow functions. Here inside this arrow functions, firstly we'll define const, and we want to gauge wall thing. So that's why from here we'll go to type MongoDB CRUD operations. Actually we'll type MongoDB CRUD uses example. After then, here on this first search result, you can see uses example. So you can just go here, or you can just click uses example. So if you do this, then here are some method. If you want to find projects, so that's why here this the operation is find operations. We want to find multiple documents, so that's why hit this multiple documents. We're getting all our menus, so that's why these operations it says you have to define database. This is done. Then you have to define queries. We don't need to define any queries for this. We actually do these operations. So that's why we'll have a const and we'll define a variable name that would be result. Then we'll define a wait as we're using async. Then we'll call this menu items, so menu collections. Then we'll just define find operations, and then we'll convert it to array method. Okay, so after then you will just define phrase dot send, and then we'll define these results. So if you do this and go to this specific routes right now, then let me, where is this, is the localhost 6000. And from here, if you just go to this route, that means main route, then you can see here there is an empty objects. We don't have any data there. Actually, we haven't insert any data. If you just here, if you go to this browse collections, so where is the collections, browsers collections, actually let me go to database, hit this database, and you can see browse collections. If you just hit here, then you can see there is no data. Actually we have to load data, so that's why from this database you can load a sample data set. We don't need this, we can add our own data, and we have to define user's name, we have to select here. Okay, so that would be a one way. Then you can just go to the overview. From here you can load your data. Actually, to add data, here click this add data, you can just create data on Atlas. So that's why you will hit this start, and you have to name the database name and this collections name, and you can just define it here this way. Okay, so let me database name here, our database name is this one. We'll just paste it here. After then we have a collections name that would be menus. So here is menus, and then here we'll just copy our data from our client side. Here you can see inside this public folder we will have data. So here let me export this data. For now we'll copy this, and then you can just paste it. You have to remove this id, we don't need this, so remove this. So now if you just hit this create database, then it's look, it's creating. So after creating this, you will see these collections inside this food demo. This is database and this is data, and we have on data. So now if you refresh, then you can see we have on data. You can update multiple data, you can just update every data. So for this you can just copy all this data and then actually insert documents to update data. So here this is the process. You can use this format, you can just click here to use this format. Here you can paste it, and you can actually insert, click this insert button. So as we are duplicating the first one, so let me delete the first one. We have already this first one, so that's why I'm deleting. After then you can just insert. So all the data, 20 data is 20 of many, we have all the data is loaded. So you can see we have all data is now from the backend. So we can use this route to fetch data. So okay, if you get this data, we have to show it on front end sites. Here you can see we are loading our all menus item from here, but it is hard coded. If you want to check, then let me close these on, and now let me close all. So from the foodie client, actually we will go to the src. Then from here actually maybe we're loading data on these pages. Then we have shops, then menu.jsx. Here we're fetching data. You can see we're fetching data, and this is from local projects. Here public folder has main.json file, and we are loading data from local public folder. But right now we are going to fetch this data from this API. So here we have all data on our MongoDB, and we want to show this data on our website. So that's why you can just remove this, and then what you will do, so here you can see this is the specific routes. So you can copy these routes and then paste here actually. So if you do this, then if you refresh, then you can see still everything is fine, but now the data is loading from our backends. It's not the manual data. Okay, so how you can understand, you can let me just delete everything. So I'm just removing everything. Now still refresh this, then you can see the data is existing. That means our data is loaded from outside this. Okay, for now we can just okay. So hope you can understand how to create a database and how to show your data on our projects. So this is database index.js, and then this is thing. So our data is showing, and you can also check if these sections are working or not. So you can see everything is working properly. Paginations will also work, so nothing to be worried about. The first step of this project of this video is done. The first sections of this video is done. Then next we'll actually modify this, and we'll create a specific route where we'll show something like this. For example, when you home page, here you will shows the add to cart number, and when you click here, then this page will load, and you can see the items you added to the cart, and here's the calculation. So we're going to make these sections right now. So how you can do it, actually let's create a page for now. So for example, let me close these on. Okay, that's fine. Maybe we can just remove this git repository. Here for when you click here, it says nothing, but let's go to our client side. From here we have to go to src, then we have components. So now inside this navbar, here actually look where is the count. Here is the count. Now right now we'll define it's 0. So if you define it 0, then you can see the count is now 0. And here actually, so this is on actually maybe indicators level. Okay, let me add a comment here. This is about maybe this is for cart items. Okay, so this is the whole level. We'll just cart it, and we'll define a link. We have to import link from React router.dom. Then inside this link we'll paste the code. Okay, here we'll define a route, so that would be cart page. So if you do this now, if you hit here, then you can see the error because we haven't set our cart page. We have to set up a specific route and create a new page. So that's why we'll create a new page inside this shop. We will just define a cart page. So that's why that would be cart page.csx rafce, and now we'll set up route for this cart page. So that's why we'll go to the routes, then routes, and here after this update profile or somewhere, or after this menu items, we'll define a curly braces, and then Here we'll define path. The path will be the specific path for this, actually this path, the cart page. We'll just define slash cart page. After then we'll have to define the elements, the components, so that would be the cart page. Okay, fine. Now let's back there. So when your home page, you can see home page, when you hit this cart, then you will go this page actually. So you can see this is the cart page. So to fix, you can see there are some issues. You can fix it easily. So how you can see, you can just remove this and remove this main options, never for now. And now we'll go to our layouts, and this is main.js. Here inside this outlet we can actually define a new div. Here we'll define outlet, and here we'll actually define class name that would be main is screen. Okay, now you can see there's mass space there. Okay, now we'll design this card page. So here this is the card page, and we're going to design these sections. So how you can do it, actually we'll have to design this page. So that's why firstly we'll define class name max w max w screen to excel. Then we will have container, or we can simply define section container. Section, maybe we have added section container. Let me see it. Section container. Then we will define some padding to the top and bottom. So that would be something like, okay, this time. And inside this cart we'll take another div. So here we would like to show a banner. So for example, you can just copy this from the banner sections. So go to the components, then banner. You can copy the first sections. You can just copy the whole thing and then paste it inside this div. You don't need this image block. You can just remove this one. Then you can see here we have this. We can also remove that. Here we can just define it flex. Remove this. We can also define remove this width. You can actually just simply do this type of thing, or you can just define justify items. Justify center. Okay, now you can see this is center. You don't need this paragraph and button. Okay, so this type of thing is done. You can just add mass space if you want. Maybe you can just define 28 for now, so that you can get some space, or you can just define 36. So mass space is done. Instead of, we'll just add this text. The design section is on to you. We don't have much worry about it. You can just define this. So that would be the text is fine. And after this we have to create this type of thing. So this is banner. So let me format the code. Control Shift F to format this code. Here we'll just define this is banner. You can just remove this repeated code, as we have already defined it. We can remove it. Okay, so fine. Now what we will do, we'll actually create this type of table. So that's why we'll use daisy UI. From here you will just go to the components we have installed that already. From here you will just go a little bit and find tables. You can choose any of this table. You can see you have images, this type of visual effects, you can type of this and this. We can choose here. You can see we have images, we have items name and something like that. So that's why we can choose this type of table, actually this type of table. So that's why we can just go to hit the JSX and we will copy it, and after then we'll just define tables for the cards. Okay, after then we'll just define a div, then paste the table, format it. Now let's check. So here you can see we have this type of thing we have, and now we have to customize it. That's fine. So everything is fine. We have this is row. Let me close this code. We have header here. We have row 1, row 3, row 4. We don't need the rows, so we'll remove. We'll keep only one rows and just remove everything. So now we have one row. We can remove the footers. So here there will be t footers, that means table footers. We can remove this. Now we have this one. We have to customize this. Okay, so for this, firstly you can see we have hash, food, menu items, quantities, price and actions. So here actually table head, so here we will include that. So that's why we'll remove this one. We'll just define trace, that means table head, that would be hash. Then we will have food, then we will have item name, then we'll have quantity, quantit, then we will have price. After then we have actions, action. Okay, now check it. So here you can see food, items, quantity, price, actions. You can color it. So that's why you can just target this t head and define busy print color and define text white and round it SM or something like that. Okay, now you can see the changes is there. And here actually we don't need this. We'll customize this first row firstly. Here how to customize this, actually on the first trace we don't define a trace, we will define td. So inside this td we'll just define maybe for now 1. Okay, now you can see it's 1. Then we have images, we have these stuffs. Okay, so maybe what you will do, let's create routes for when someone hit this, like when someone firstly go to the menu page, and when someone hit add to cart, it will just shows a alert at the top, and then the update will be there. So for this, here if you go back to the menu page, then if you hit, then nothing happens. You can see nothing happens. The update, the count is not updating and nothing happens. So that's why we'll just do that. After then we'll just paste data and shows on this table. That will be simple. Okay, now keep it there. So all the data is from where? It's rendering. This data is from rendering from the cards. So that's why here you can see all the menu data is here. It's from the cards. So what we will do, we'll go to the cart page. Oh, give me a time. So here you can see, here this is the add to cart button. Here we'll define a one click, and we will define handle add to cart or something like add to cart. Okay, so we'll just define this on click and create a new routes here. So after this, let me define add to cart button. Okay, here we'll define const and paste add to cart. That will be this, and then we'll have curly braces, and this will actually add to cart will receive an item. So we'll just finally let me console log the button is clicked. Okay, let's check it if the button is working or not. If you inspect, then check the console, remove all. Okay, fine. Now this if hit here, then you can see the button is clicked from these 11 number lines. You can see this is the 11 number lines. So if you do this, you can just define full items and just modify it a little bit. Here can use arrow, then we can just call these functions and then pass the item value. So if you pass item inside here, you can just check the items. So after then you can just check the item. Let's check the item, refresh it, choose this, then you can see a button and a whole items is there, and the item's name is this name. And if you hit this one, then you can also get a new items that would be this name. You can see the name and the name is same. So that's why when we're clicking, then we're getting a specific items. Okay, fine. So if you get this item, then next time we have to do, let me comment it here, we'll actually define if users. So here we will have a users, and then we'll check const will just get our user from where we want to get our user from use context, and that would be what context. So first we'll check if we have user. So যদি if we have users, and then we'll check if user is available and username had an email, then we will give him to add to cart. Otherwise we don't let him add to cart. So that's why we'll check this. So let me check if the user is available right now. So let me clear user. So let's check these users and let me comment this for now. So the user is not there. So let me log in to my accounts. Login successful. Now we can see now the user is here. You can see the user is here, or you can just comment out this one. And then if the user is there, what you can do, you can just go inside here. Actually we'll just comment out this on right now. Here firstly we will do something const define cart item, then we'll just define an objects. Inside this objects we'll define menu item id, and here we'll actually insert our id. Then so the id is not found, so let me destructures from the items. So here we are getting all the items. Let me destructure its const. Then there would be name, image, price, then recipe. You can just destructure from seeing here. So recipe, then we will have images, then we will have or images two times, then we will have actually underscore id. Then we'll just define it items. Okay, so now the error has gone actually. So we have destructure items from these items, and then we'll use here. So firstly we'll have item, then we'll have name, then we'll have quantity. We'll just include a quantity field, that would be quantity, that would be the value is 1. Then we'll have image, we'll pass the item image. Then we will just check price, and finally we'll have an email field, that would be user email, user dot email. So we'll create an object here, user email. So if you now console log this cart items, okay, let's check it. So here let me refresh it. Go to the menu items, all menu. From here hit this button, then you can see we are creating an object from the line 18th. So that's why this is the line 18th, and we're getting a full object. We have email, we have item image, we have item id, we have this and this, everything. So we are having all of these. So if you have all of this, then what the next? Actually the next thing is that we're going to create an API, and we will post this data to our backends. So that's why we're going to create a new API. So here we will create a new API. We have a on route for getting all menus, but we want to post our cards to our server. We will keep everything on our server. So that's why we have already created our collections, and inside this collections we'll just define our cards item to these specific collections. That's why we'll define cards operations. And here what we'll do, first you will post an items. So that's why we will define app dot post. Then we will have a parenthesis. Inside this we will have cards. Then after then, as we're defining async, then we'll have a curly braces. Then we'll define require, then response, then we'll have arrow here. After then we will have curly braces. Here we will make a new operation. So that would be, firstly we'll check const cart item. Cart item will be require dot body. We'll just get everything from the body. After then we'll define const results. The results will be await. Then we'll call these collections. So that would be cart collections. So that's a cart collections. Then we want to insert one. Then we'll pass this cart item. Then after then we'll just res.send the results. So results. So our this one is let me add comment, posting cart to DB. So this way we can post our cart items to the database. So that's why right now, so if you do this, then back to your cart page, actually here, from here actually, let me comment this. After then what you will do, we'll just define a fetch item. So that's why fetch, and for the cart item here, actually let me copy these routes. So these routes, and we'll just define this instead of menu. Here you can see the root is, the path is slash cards, so that's why it's not menu, will be slash cards. Then here, as usual, let me define, then we'll define brace.json. After then we'll have, then that would be data, then something like here, let me just console log data for now. Okay, we will do other operations. So you can just format your code, control shift F to format this code. From here what we will do, we'll define some method. So here the method will be, here we'll use parenthesis, so curly braces, and here we'll actually define method. The method will be, what the method, you can see here we'll define post method. So that's why here we also define post method. So that's why we'll define post. Then we will have a headers, and the value will be an object. So that object will be content type, and then we'll define applications. So if you have an worry about the method, you can just search it, post method. So if you search this, then you can see this is the way. You can just copy this header if you just avoid to ignore. So you have to remove this, and then we also need a body. So that's why we'll define, after then we'll have this body, then JSON stingifier, and here we'll pass these items. Here you can see we have cart items, so we'll pass these cart items. So we have to send data to our backends by this way. Then I think now you can just insert this data. So let me check, try again. So refresh it, then inspect for now, and then this is the menu page. Hit here, it's showing nothing, but here you can see the acknowledgement is true, an inserted id, you are getting an inserted id. And if you go back and refresh your database, so here is the refresh button, you can see we have a cart collections, so that is cart items, and here we have data, the data I am sending. Let me try to send another data, maybe here, maybe this chicken. Just hit here. Oh sorry, it is from the first one, so we have to try it from here actually, sorry for that. We'll just send data from this. Let me go to the food page where just goat cheese pizza. Let me hit here, acknowledgement true, and if you just refresh, so why it's not refreshing, so let me refresh it. Then you can see good cheese pizza. So that's why we are just sending data from this route. So, and here we have some integrations, we are showing some alerts, so that's why we can do that. Okay, so for the alert we are using sweet alert 2. So we're using this type of alert, so that's why we'll go there. Firstly, we have to install this. The installation way is we will just copy this and then open the terminal. We'll just go to the client side, so that would be on the first. So you can just check it from here. You can just close this on. Yes, then you can see this is the Footy client. Inside this Footy client, we'll just paste this command npm install sweet alert. And at the meanwhile, you can see if you just check the examples, then you can see you can use this type of alert, you can show this type of alert, you can show this type of error or alert. Many types of alerts are there. Look how this type of, here is another alert, here is another alert. So you can do any type of this type of alert actually shown there. So what we'll do, we'll actually firstly let me choose one thing. Maybe we can just choose this alert. So that's why how to use that, we have to import. So here that, look, if you hit this uses, then you can see firstly we have to import this. So that's why let me import at the top, and we want to show alert when the inserted id is true. So you can see here the inserted acknowledgement true, and there is an inserted id. So what we'll do, we'll just copy this, and then from here, look me, here we are just simply console log data. Instead of doing this, we can just check if data dot inserted id, then we'll do call these alerts. So we'll call this actually. So go to the users example, and what is the customs positions, yeah, we want to call this actually, we'll call this. So here inside it, we'll just paste it here. Okay, let's try it again. Refresh it. Okay, sorry, I'm sorry, our server is not, our client side is not running, so that's why. Npm run drive. Okay, hope now if you refresh, okay, this is now shown. Okay, fine. So here right now, just let me refresh, we have two items. Actually we have two items, and let's add a new items, maybe this one. Click here, then when this is okay, you can see an alert here. You can see the alert is there. Top corners, so you can just show that type of alert. You can check it this way, you can just hit here. Now there is an alert, the position is top int. You can change that positions, no major, but we're showing some alerts. But what we want to actually do, actually we want to make sure if you have an account, so then you can only add this, otherwise you cannot. So that's why, so here let me show it again. We have this, we'll just close this, and then here we'll check an else block. So that's why else, and then inside this else we want, if you don't have accounts, it will show an alert to create an account. So that would be something like, no, this not, it's maybe this type. or you can just you can just search warning type maybe. Okay, this type of thing. You can just copy this, and then after this inside this else block you can just want to show it. Okay, so here when the prompt, then we'll redirect it to somewhere, so that's why we'll just navigate. So that's why what we'll have to, we'll just want to get the current location. So that's why what we'll actually do, we'll have to just const navigate equal use navigate from React router DOM. Then we have to define const location equal, we'll have to define use locations. Then we'll just define here actually inside this, if the result is confirmed, then we will want to show it. We'll want to just define navigate equals, we'll define slash sign up page. Then we'll just define a state, and that would be from location. Okay, acha. If that is okay, let's try again. So let me add from the last one, hit here, then here this is working. But if I log out, then if you just hit, then it says you have to make sure you have to create an account. Okay, let me customize this. Please create an account for login. So hope maybe it will work. Please log in. And here we're just making the text would be without an account can't able to add products. Okay, fine. Confirm is maybe that is sign up now. Then okay, fine, let's try again. When you hit, it says please log in, and then sign up now and cancel. If you hit, then it will redirect to the sign up page, or you can just sign up your accounts. Click here. Maybe we didn't define the button, so let me log in. Moon, let me just try it through my Gmail accounts. Okay, now you can successfully add it. Click here, you can see an alert is showing. So if the alert is showing here actually, you can see how many data is added. Refresh it. You can see you have totally 7 items is there. you can actually add 7 items, but you have to show it on the sections on this something like this way. We have to show is at the top, so that will be the next target. The section is done. Next we have to do this thing. So for this we will need some API routes. So to get data, we'll create an API that would be for the data using Gmails. So that's why get cards using email. So for this we'll just define an get route app dot get, and here we'll define same, that would be quotations, single quotations or double quotations, no matter, that would be cards, and then we will have same async functions. Then here we'll have request and response, no matter changes. Then actually what we want to like here, we'll define const email equal, we'll just define required dot query dot email. Then we'll get an email, and here we'll define const query equal, we'll create an object, so that would be email, and the value will be this email. So if you get this, then we'll define const result, then, or you can just name it filter. So that's why let me add a meaningful name. We want to filter based on the email value, and here we will define await, and here that would be card collections. Then we'll just find multiple items, so that's why multiple, we'll just pass this filter, so that will be filter. Then we will just convert it to array. Okay, fine. So if you do this, then you can just define res.send, then we will actually pass these results. Okay, so how you can get this? Okay, let's check. We'll just go this, and from here, instead of this menu, we'll just check this card. If you hit nothing there, but after then if you just define quotations email equal, and if you define my email, let me check it here. Actually you can see the login email is this one, and just copy it and paste it here. Now you can see we have seventh data, we have all data inside this. You can see we are getting this data using this route. So this is done. Now we have to show it on the project. So that's why for this we are using our trunk is track, and we will create a hook actually. So that's why what we will do, we will create a folder, so that would be inside this src folder. Make sure you are on this uh foodie clients. So that's why foodie clients, here this is public folder, here we'll create a folder that would be hooks. So inside this hooks will actually create a new hooks, so that would be use cart. So that's why let me define it, use cart dot jsx, then simply that would be rafce. Let me remove this one, and here we will use trunk stack ta time step query. It's very handy actually. By using this time stack, you can build, you can just management your estate properly. There are other ways you can just store your products on local storage, you can just use Redux, and you can just also use this. It's very popular and powerful tool, so that's why we'll just hit this get started. What I have to do, firstly we have to install it. So for this, from here you can just click this installations, then this is the command, we can just copy it, go back to the terminal sections, and then this is the packages. Here the error is, let me, okay, we'll fix that error, but let me just control and click C for close this terminal, and then make sure you are inside this root, otherwise you will just get an error. So that's why if you are on this food directory, press enter. So after installing this, we have to run this project, so that's why npm run dev again. Okay, so the next task is we have to use it. So the uses way is, we will just hit this get started or quick start. It says you have to import this, you have to import these two things. You can just copy the first one and you go to the main.jsx. It's main.jsx. So this is main.jsx. Here you have to define a comments trunk stack. Okay, paste it here, and after then you will also copy this and paste it here. So after then what you will do, you will use this way. Actually you can just copy this, and then inside this out route you can paste it. So now you will cut this and replace this to do means here you will have to paste your routes. So that's why everything is done. We are importing this, and then we are calling this query counts, and then we are pass our router provider inside these routes. So that's why it will work. The history is not using, so that's why we can just remove that, no matter. So if you do this, then our setup process is done. So if the setup process is done, so for the next, actually we have to use it properly. So that's why we'll use it here on this use card hook. So firstly we'll just define const, we'll just get our user from use context hook, and from here we will just get what context. So we're getting this hook. After then how you can just define this use. uh, so to define it, you can see, let me just check it properly how you can just do it. So import defaults query functions, so click here, you can see to use this you can use this way, or here is throwing, if you want to throw error you can just face this way. We have use query, then we have this way, then we will have a functions. So that's why we can just this way, there is another query available functions. Query functions, maybe. Okay, let's do it. So here actually after this, what you will do, we'll define const, then we'll have a curly braces, then we'll define data, that would be cart, then that will be an empty objects. After then we'll use this use query from React trunk stack, and then inside here we'll have this way. We have use query. You can see use query will have a query key. So we'll have a query key. Then we have a query key that would be cards. So that would be cards. And then here to do will be user optional chain, then email. Email. So maybe the email is correct or not. So let me check it. Maybe I made a lot of mistake. Inspect it and check the email name is correct or not. So where is the email? Okay, I think the mail text is okay. After then we will have a functions. You can see from this, actually from this you can see we will have a functions, these type of functions. So we can just copy this and just copy this, and here actually you can, instead of define this, we can just define it phrase. Here we'll have to pass our fetch URL. So that would be something like our fetch URL would be this route. You can see we have these routes, so that's why we will use template string, and then we'll pass it instead of, after this card, instead the email will be there, but we don't use hard-coded email. We'll use $sign. Then here we'll pass user. Actually this email we can just copy it and paste it inside here actually. So after then if we don't want this, we can just we don't need this. After this actually we can just define const. We can just return this return res.json. Okay, we can just return this. After then what we can do, after this actually we'll just return, will actually return, instead of this div we'll just return two thing. So that would be, let me define, that would be cart, and then we'll just define preface. So that's why here we can use refetch. So let me use refetch here, refetch, and we'll just refetch. Okay, so this way we can just define a custom hook, and we can use this hook to fetch this data. You can see we're fetching data using email address. So let's how you can use it. So firstly we'll use it inside this navbar. You can see inside this navbar. So that's why, where is our navbar? We'll go to components, then navbar. So let me close these cards, main.jsx, cards, mains. Okay, everything, keep it this one, and from here we'll open this components, then navbar. At the top, here at the top, let me close nav items. Firstly, after this users, we can just define const, then we'll just call the card and refetch, then we can use it, call this use card hook, use card, use card hook, and call it. So let me just console log the card. So if you console log the card, then inspect it. Here hit a refresh, then you can see here we are getting all the same the data. So we are getting data. If we are getting data, then let me close this, and we can use it here. Actually here the data is here. We can just use it by this way. Actually we will define card dot length test length. Then let's check it. Now you can see we have 7th value here at the top. You can just define an optional number here, otherwise it will be 0. Okay, so let me show again. Log out. Now it's 0. When you log into your specific accounts, log into your accounts, then it will show the cart items. You can see all the 7th cart items are shown here. When you hit, then you will see this. Now we have to complete these steps. We have to complete this cart, and it's very easy for now. So if we are getting the hook done, then how you can do it? You can just go to your specific page. So that is about cart page. So where is the cart page? We'll close this. We don't need this navbar anymore. So then we'll go to the pages, then shop page, then cart page. So inside this cart page, firstly we'll just fetch our data. So that's why we'll define const, then we'll just cart and prefetch, and we'll use cart hook. So this hook, call it. After then, so if you find this use cart, then you can just show it this way, state of inside this table body. Actually inside this table body, so let me close. Inside this table body, you can just use a curly braces. Here you can just map this cart dot map. Here you will receive item, then index. After then we'll have arrow. Here we'll have parenthesis. Inside this parenthesis we can actually paste it. So here you can see there is error. First actually we'll define key, that would be index key. So if you do this, then you can see we have all items. So simply to show data here, actually this is the first one. This is hard-coded data. We will use index plus 1. Okay, fine. So now we have 7 data, and to use the image here, actually we will use the image, that would be item dot image. That's why you can see all the images there, and here there's some text. We can just remove this. After then let me remove. After avatar, here is the additional text. We don't need this, we can remove it. Then let's check it. Here the image, and here is the name. Let me change the name. So this is the name options. We can just remove all, and here we'll define item dot name. So you can see all the items name is there. And after then here we have fill. We will define the quantity, for examples. So that would be item dot q. Let me check it. The name maybe item dot quantity, item dot quantity tab. So this is item dot quantity. Then we will have price. So that's why we'll just copy it again. That would be item dot price. Let's check. So this is price, and there will be action. So that would be something like delete. So this is delete. We can use an icon. So that would be something like fa icons, fa trash. Let me import icons. So that's why import from React icons. slash fa icons, and that would be something like fa trash. Okay, let's check it. Now here is the trash icons, and we can simply define it bg rate or something, or you can just simply text rate, define text rate. Okay, now you can see there are some delete button, and here is the quantity buttons. So but the thing is that if we want something like bold, this is bold, this would be the name will be bold, so that's the class name. Font would be medium. Okay, now it's bold. So if you do this instead of quantity, you can see, if you go there, you can see we have this type of button, and here is the delete button. So actually, to want to define the delete functionality first, then you can do it. So how you can do it? So let me add the delete functionality first. So that's why here actually we'll define const one click, then we'll just define a anonymous functions, that would be arrow functions. Here we'll define handle delete, then we'll just pass this item, whole item. We'll copy this handle delete, and at the top, at the top here we'll define handle delete button, and here we'll define const, then this, and that will receive an item, then we'll just get this. So this way, firstly let me delete this. So to delete this item, actually what we have to do, when someone delete here, we want to show an alert, so that would be this type of thing. So maybe we can show this. Do you want to delete? You can actually show this alert, so that's why you can just copy this. So inside this handle delete, you can just paste it. We have to import swal, so where we use it, maybe we use it inside, or you can just check it from uses. Maybe you can just copy this text, you can import swal. Okay, after then what you will do, you will actually check here. So for example, when you hit any button, then here it will shows, when you hit this, yes, delete it, then you will just do something. So when the result is confirmed, you will just show something, you will fetch a data and show something. So that's why we will have to define a route, so that is for the delete. So delete items from cart. So here would be a delete method. So the delete method would be something like uh, would be app dot delete, and here we'll actually what can do, we'll define, we'll just get a specific id, so that would be cards dash dot id, then we will just define async, then it will have a functions, anonymous functions, then we'll pass here require, and then press here. Actually after then inside this we'll just get id, so const id equal, then request dot params dot id. After then we'll just filter const filter or query, you can just do anything, we can just filter our query, Okay, here we'll have underscore id, that would be new object id, new object id. So import it from MongoDB, then we'll pass this id. After then we will just define const results equal, we'll just define await, then we'll call this card collections, then we will just define delete one, then we'll pass this filter. Okay, so if you do this, then what you have to do, press dot send and then pass these results. Okay, so our delete route is done, but here we also implement a specific, how to get a specific id, get specific product. I'm also sorry, cards. So let me define how you get a specific cards. So for this, to get a specific card, we'll define a get route, that would be get, then we'll have the same thing, we'll have the same thing here, then we will have async, then we'll just do an arrow functions here, that would be receive two things, press and require, then we will actually get the same thing, we'll just get an id from the request.params.body. After then we'll just define same thing, actually this same thing is here also. After then we'll just define const results equal, then await card collections dot find one, then we'll have filter options, and after then you can simply press dot send, then we'll pass this results. Okay, let's try to get a specific items from the id. So maybe we just copy this id and we'll just go here slash card slash id. If you press enter, then you can see a specific id. So if you do this, then you can obviously delete a specific items when the button is clicked. So how you will define, you will just define it and will delete when go back to the card page, when the result is confirmed. Instead of this we'll just here fetch, and we'll fetch based on this url. So use this url, you can see we're getting a specific data, use this url. So after then here actually we need to modify it, so that would be dollar sign quotations, yeah, that would be item dot underscore id, and after then we'll have, then we'll have raise equal raise dot json, call it. After we will have another then, and we'll actually define sorry, let me define data and then arrow, then we'll have curly braces. Inside this arrow we actually want to show sorry, the where is the confirm, let me name, so where is the confirm, actually confirm button, yeah, confirm button will actually shows this, and inside here when the data is okay, here actually check if data dot deleted count deleted count is less than 0, then we want to show this actually. So data dot deleted count is greater than 0, we'll show this, and here we'll have to define a method, so that's why curly braces, and the method is method that would be delete. So when we hit this, then this delete route will hit and delete an item. So let's, if true everything, let's check it. So for example, I want to delete the first one. Click here, then it says, are you sure to delete? Yes, I want to delete. Then it says it is deleted, but the item is not shown, not goes. If you refresh, then the first item has gone. Now we have 6 items. So how to remove these issues? When you delete, it will be delete automatically. Let me delete this one, delete it, but without refreshing it's not moving. So for this we have a refresh. So sorry, here we have a refetch. You can just call this at the top of this. So after the top of this, you can just call this refetch. So let's try again, refresh it. We have now 5 data and we want to remove this one. So hit delete, just yes, delete, delete it. Now 4. Let's try this one. Now 3. And here you can see 3. So our deleting is working. And if that's work, for the next, actually the next thing is that we will just make these buttons and implement the calculations. Here lots of calculations. Here you can see when you hit double, then the price is increasing and the value is also increasing, and at the bottom we have this type of functionality, and that will be implemented right now. So from this, now we will design these sections firstly. So for this, we'll go to our cart page. Here let me close everyone. So here you can see this is our table sections, and after then we will just create a comment. So that would be customer details or something like. Okay, so here we'll take a div. Inside this div we'll have 2 div, and here we'll define class md. W will be half of the width, and then we'll just define a space y to the 3, and we'll copy it for 2 times. For the first one, here we'll take a h3, that would be maybe customer details. Here we can just define a class name, that would be font medium. Okay, fine, let's check. So this is a website. Here you can see customer details. You can add some space to the bottom and top, that's why my, that would be 12. Okay, let's check mass space right now. Then here we want to show name, email and uid, that means user id. That's why here the name will be maybe we have to import our users, so that's why const curly braces. Here users, we will import users from use context, use context, and we will pass auth context. So we will get these users and we will show these users dot display play name, so that will display our username if we have. So look here, I am using login my account, so that's why my name is shown here. Then you can show email if you want, so that would be email. Let's check. So this is email, and after then you can show user id or uid, so that would be user underscore id, and the uid will simply, here will just pass uid. So let's check. Now here you can see some id is there. So if you have this section done, then we will move to the right sections and we will have the same thing. We can just copy the four div add things here that will be shipping, shopping details, shopping details. So here you can see this is shopping details, and then we will actually have, we can just remove all, then we will have a pay tag that would be total items. So total items, so that would be something like, we have cart at the top, so that's why cart dot length, let's check. Now total items true, then we can just define total price, so that would be total price. And right now we'll keep it hard coded, so that's why maybe we can just use $000 right now. So that would be a hard coded price here, and then we will have a button. The button will be something like proceed checkouts, CC proceed check out. And here we will define class name, that would be button, and busy will be green, then we will have text white or something white. Okay, let's check it. Now here is a button, and okay, we need to target the parent div. Here we will define flex, then we will have flex by default call. Then on medium devices we will define flex row, justify between, and items start. Okay, let's check it. Hope these two sections is now done. So if this two section is done, what next? We will have to design these quantity field like this way. When you hit, then it will reduce, and the price will also be increased or reduced based on your click. So click here, you can see it's, yeah, increasing, and then the total price will shown here. So we will just do that thing in our section. So that's why we will back here. Let me close this div and open our table. From here, where is our price tag? So here is the price. After then we have table quantity. We'll remove this, and here we'll just take a button that would be minus, let me define class name, so that would be something like button, and button extra sm, so extra s. Okay, so you can see now a minus button, and then we'll have a input field that would be number. And here actually what we can do, we will remove this, we don't need this. Then we will just define a value, that value would be item dot quantity. So we can check the quantity field from here. So from here, so hope now you can see we have the quantity one on. After then, so here one thing, let me just delete this css, we have already added that. So after then you will have the same button, so we'll copy this and paste it here, and that will be plus. So if you do this, then you can see this type of thing here, this type of thing here, we have this, but we don't want to show this arrow, so that's why we can use search actually, hide arrow from the input field number. So here you can see this type of, if you go to this, then you can see there is two field. You can just copy this and add this to your app.css actually here. So if you just implement this, let me just delete this field, or we don't need this for this. Okay, so if you do this, then back here, now this is fine. Here we have to add some class name to this input field, then it will be fixed. So where is the input field? Here, this is input field. Let me define class name. The class name would be w10, that means 40 pixels, then mx2, then we'll have text center. Okay, so if we have text center, then we will define overflow hidden, then appearance none. So if we define these classes here actually, then it will be similar like to our specific on. Look, you can see here we have the quantity and here plus button, minus button, and see this. So if everything is fine, then what we can do, we have to make the calculations. When you hit minus, then it will reduce and the price will also reduce, and here all the prices will be updated. So for that, here we are actually using price. uh, let's do that. Firstly, we will just define. Okay, so what we actually do, we will just do a little thing from here. Firstly, when we hit, okay, let's add event listener to our add to cart page. Let me close this. Here we have buttons. Actually, this is plus button and this is minus button. Okay, so let's define one click. So on click, then here we'll have anonymous functions, and when we click, actually that would be handle decrease, and here we'll actually pass item. So whole item, we'll call this from the top of here. We'll just uh, handle decrease function. Then here we'll define const, and then these functions, this will receive an item. After then it will have arrow, this is arrow functions, and this will just simply console log the item or the item dot underscore IDs. Let me console log this. When you hit this decrease, then we will want to check the ID. Okay, inspect it, check the console. Here you will get some error. It's actually a warning, not say error, but we can fix it. But before that, let me clear it. If we hit minus, then we are getting a first ID. If you hit the minus to the second, then you can see another ID. So we are getting ID. And if you refresh, let me refresh it. And how you can just remove these issues, it says you have to provide a value props. So here one change, we have to add an one change where from the input field. So here is the input field. Let me format this code. So now you can see this is the input field, and here we'll actually have to use one change, and then we'll actually define a console dot log. Then we'll actually console log the something. Maybe we can just console log this quantity actually. Okay, console log the item dot quantity. So if you refresh right now, then you can see the error has gone. So if the error has gone, what next? We will actually also define a handle click here. So that's why we will define one click field, one click, and it will be obviously an anonymous functions, and that's why here it will have handle increase, then it will also pass an item. Okay, now you can just copy this and go at the top. After this handle decrease, or above this handle decrease, we will just handle increase function, and then we will define const. We'll have the same thing, we'll have a equal sign, then here will be arrows, and it will pass an item. That would be item, and inside this item simply we can just console log ID for now. clg and then item dot underscore id. So let me refresh it again. When you hit plus, then you can also get an id. When you hit minus, you can see the specific id is heated. So if the id is heated, what we can do, we'll define a specific route to update our item. So that's why we will just create a new route here that would be for update cards quantity, QUANTIT. We want to define a route for update cards, so that's why we will just update based on the quantity. That's why we will use app and we will use put method. So that's a put method. Here firstly we will have slash, and then you can just define the same way. We'll have cards slash dot clone id, and here we will have async functions. Then we will have two things, use arrow curly braces, and here we will just receive require and then response. Firstly, what we will do, we will have to define an id. Every time when you use this type of path, you have to just get the id. So we'll just get the id. When you hit this, then what we'll do, we'll actually filter, or you can just get a little bit help from the MongoDB. So type MongoDB CRUD uses examples, and from here go these websites. Then you can see we want to update a document, so that's why update and replace operations. From here you will update in document. So here it says firstly you have to define database, we have already. Then we have to define a filter method, so that's why we'll copy this filter methods, and after this id we'll pass it. So we don't filter based on id, will sorry title, we'll just filter based on id, and that would be new, then object id, and then here we'll actually pass this id. And actually here we need another thing, we need the quantity. So that's why we will just define an object that would be from required dot body. From the required dot body we will get quantity. So where is the quantity? So this is quantity. Okay, fine. So if do this, then from the website you can see you have to define this observe true. We have to define these options. So after this we will define an options. So if the option is done, then we have to create an update documents field. So that's why we'll copy this field, and then we'll just paste it here. So here this is a set method. So inside this set method we will just simply define an object. So that would be something like quantity. We can just copy this quantity, and then we have a clone. Here we'll actually define parse int, and then we will have quantity, and then here actually we will have 10. We're getting an error actually of we are just use lots of curly braces. Let me remove these curly braces. So hope this error has gone. So let me format this code. We have to create a updated documents, and here we will have a set methods. So we will target the quantity field and set the value using parse integer. So we will just create an updated documents here. After then what you will do, we will need to define this way. We need to define results. We'll copy it and paste it here, and here actually it's not movie, it will be cart collections, and here everything is fine. So our routing is done. We have an updated routes here, and you will use it from the front end. So that's why this is cart page. When someone click the increase button, let me comment it, when someone click this increase button, what you will do, will actually set a route first. For example, let me define route first. So const, it will be cart items, and then we'll define set then cart items equal, we'll use state, then the value will be an array. So if you define this, after then what we will do, actually here at these positions we will just define a fetch method similar like this. We have already did this type of fetching issues. You can do this type of thing. So we'll just do a fetch method. So let's do a fetch item. That's right, we'll define fetch and we will have an URL here. So for this we are using template string because we will target a specific ID. So that's why we'll copy uh, this slash cart, and then we will have an object ID, then we will paste it here. Let me remove the space. Instead of this hard coded, we'll actually define a dollar sign curly braces. Here we will just define id dot underscore id, and then we will have to define a then methods, and that would be res then arrow. We will convert this to a JSON format, so convert it. After then we'll have another then, and here we will have a data. We'll use arrow and curly braces here. So inside here what we will do, we'll check what we'll do, actually we'll define a variable. So variable will be updated carts, that will be, we'll just map this cart items. So we'll just map this cart items, then we'll get cart item, it's not item, so we'll get cart item. Here we will have an arrow, then so after this arrow we'll have curly braces, and inside this we'll actually check if this cart item, so every cart item will be have an id. So if this id equal item dot id, then we will just return, that will be an objects, we'll just return the cart item. That will be cart item, this cart this cart item. Then we'll just update quantity, so that's why our quantity will be q quantity will be cart item dot quantity, then we'll add 1 as we are increasing the value. So we will do this. After this if block, after this if, we will just return the cart item. So return the cart item. So this documents is done, you can see this document is done. So after then we will just, after this you can, let me just add a space here so that you can understand. After this block we will just define set cart items, and that would be updated cart. Okay, then actually we will just define refetch so that it will refresh automatically. So that's why we'll just refetch, we'll call the refetch also. So this is simple. Now we have to define method. So here after this, let me format this code. So after this, actually after this we will have a object, so that would be, we'll use a comma and then a curly braces. Here we'll define something. So we'll define method. The method will be put method. So that's why this is put. We'll have headers and body. So we'll just search put methods, and then if you go any of these, then you can see maybe headers. Okay, patch, try this. Patch, maybe we'll get the, okay, we didn't get it. We can just take other methods. We can just go to this or somewhere. Maybe will I get that? Okay, so we're not getting that. We are just checking. Maybe here is code camp. Thoughts. So okay, we get that on free code camp. Here look, this is methods, and then we will define the header and docs. So we'll copy this headers and body from here, and we will paste under this put methods. So here we will have then the updated doc. Here what we will define, we'll define objects. The objects will have quantity, then the quantity will be item dot quantity, and then we'll just define plus value. So I think this is done. This step is done. So we are defining a fetch items here. You define method here. We'll have headers, we will have body, and then we'll just everything. Okay, let's try it if it's working or not. Let me refresh it again. We have plus icons. Click here. Maybe nothing happens. Let me just check the console. There is no error, but here you can see the 2. You can just again plus icons. Maybe let me hard reload. So after reload, you can see the number is increasing. Now it's 3. So if the number is increasing, you can just show it the price. So for this, actually after this top, we can just define calculate price, calculate price. So here we will define const calculate price equal, it will be receive an item. Then here we will just define return method, and the return will be item dot price into item dot quantity. So we have calculate price, and then we will use it inside this price field. So where is the price field? Here is the price field. Instead of item price, we will show these prices. So let's check it. We'll have to call it, then we're getting an error. So maybe how we can just show the prices, we can use it by $sign calculate price, then we'll pass item. Okay, fine, we have to define item. After then maybe let's check. Now the pricing is updating, so let me refresh it, increase another one, refresh it, then the fourth. Here you can also increase the second one. This is automatically not refreshing. Maybe where is the issues? Maybe our fetch prefetch, actually prefetch is not working. You can just copy it, and here we have used, maybe we can just define it after this. Let's check. Okay, plus, maybe it's for issuing the server, so that's a plus here. Okay, it's working. Fourth, can see the plus icon is a little small, so that's why we cannot just get it. So but plus icon is working. And another thing is, you can just, here we have some decimal points, so that's why, where is the place, here we'll actually define two fixed, and that will be two decimal points, so that's why it will not show you others. Okay, let's hit here. Let me refresh it again. Hit this. Okay, maybe it's taking some times because our server is running, so that's why it's taking a little bit time, but it's working. Hit here again. Maybe refresh it. Okay, it's working but taking a little time to refresh actually. So if, then what we can do, we can actually implement the same thing for the actually for the request. We will have to do the same thing. We can just completely copy this whole thing, and then instead of this, let me delete it and paste it here. We'll do the same thing completely, but here instead of plus we will define minus, and here we will actually define minus, and everything is same. Let me refresh it. Okay, here click the minus button, refresh it for, okay, now 5, minus button 4 3, maybe refresh it again, 2, click here, 1. Okay, the button is a little bit, so that's why it's a little bit problem to click properly. If the button will be big, then it will work smoothly. You can see. Okay, let me just define a little bit here. Actually we can just define some px, that would be 2, maybe p4. Okay, so maybe I think this is okay, it's working but taking a little time, but if you refresh then work. Okay, now click here, it's now 2 3. Let's try to add these on, maybe refresh it, click here, 2, click again, 3. So it's increasing, let's decrease, and the value is automatically calculating. Okay, 3. It's taking a little time actually for rendering, but it's still working. Okay, but if you refresh, then you will actually when it's 1 and hit again, then refresh it, then it will be 0. We don't want to show 0 actually. We want to make it stop. We don't go it less than 1, so that's why what we will do, this is the decrease functions, and here we have a method, so we can just check if the item quantity is less than 1, then we don't give it to work, so that's why we'll just cart everything, and here we will check if the item dot quantity is less than 1, then we don't do anything. We actually paste the code inside these if conditions, or you can just show an error. You can show else and define an alert, and that would be item cannot be 0. Okay, you can show this alert, refresh it again, then it's 0. Let me delete this on. Okay, now we have on. Let's try another. Try to add the last piece, this on. This is alert, and after a little bit the fetching will be there. So actually the prefetch is not working properly. When it's 1, if you hit minus, then it shows the item cannot be 0. Okay, then refresh it, and look, nothing changes, everything is fine. If you hit the plus, then you can see the now 2. If you hit again, now 3, and this price is counting. Can just wait a little, then it will be just working. So now we have to calculate the total pricing. So for this, actually for this, let me close the increase, then total calculate, and after this, so decrease, we will just calculate amount. So calculate total price, we'll just calculate total price. So here we'll just define const cart subtotal total. Here we'll just check the cart. So we have carts, and then we'll define use reduce. So reducer, so that would be reducer. You can check the reducer methods. So let me just show you reducer in JS. So if you check any of these, then you can see we will just do this way. We have a functions, then we have a accumulator, then we have a current value, and then we will return something. Okay, so we'll just define do. That's why we can just copy this, actually this method reduce. So cart does reduce, then we will have a accumulator functions. It will be a functions, accumulator functions, and that we will receive two things, actually a accumulator and a current value. So that's why we'll have a total and then item. The total is accumulator and the item is now value. Then as we are using arrow, so it's a functions. So the function is here, you can see this is the function, this is the functions, and after then we have to define a value. So after then, after these curly braces, we will define a 0 value. Okay, so you can see we are doing exactly the same. We have to return this, actually we have to return this way. We will just return, instead of accumulator or this, we will just return total plus, we will just call the calculate price, and then we'll pass the item. Okay, so if you do this, then next we'll just define const order total equal, we just call this. Now you can use this order total here at the total prices. Here you, after this, actually you can just define a curly braces, and here we can just define total prices. Here you can just define two fixed prices, that would be two fixed, and that will be 2 decimal points. Okay, maybe this will work properly, let's check. So now the pricing is here. Refresh it. So now the price is showing, and if you increase a value, for example this value, so now you can see the pricing is increasing. You can just decrease a value, so it's also decreasing, and hit again. It takes a few seconds to just refresh. There is the prices, and this price, this total price is here now. You can see, so we have total items. You can delete an items. Yes, delete. Now we have one items. You can increase it. Now you can see one items and the price is here. If you just hit again, then now price 2 and the total items 2 and the price is here. You can just delete item and everything you can do. So hope you can understand it properly how it will work. And then next we'll just go to move to our dashboards. So we'll just try to create our dashboards and other stuffs. Thank you.